Alright, what's happening, guys? It is your man DGL for DGL Army on Twitch for YouTube. And welcome back to DGL Puzzle Showcases, where I show you some of the coolest and some of the best puzzles I have seen from around the block, if you know what I mean. Anyway, today it's going to be a bit different. It is not simply mate in 3 or mate in 11 or whatever. I'm just going to ask you a simple question, and you've probably already figured out the question I'm about to ask if you've looked at the title by now. But the question is simply, and it is white to move in this position, black, going this way. Yeah, maybe. Okay, let me get rid of that arrow. And the question is simply, is it a draw, or is the white bishop overloaded at the moment? Or in other words, can black win this? So, obviously, black threatening to promote, and obviously has quite a few pawns, right? Total of 8, I believe. So 8 pawns for a bishop is usually a winning advantage, I would say. But yeah, take a minute. Look at this. Is it a draw, or can black push for a win in some miracle way? Keep in mind, white to move. So let me make a move to get rid of these arrows once again. Okay, so pause now if you wish to take a look at this puzzle further. You know the drill. Alright, I'll give you a couple seconds to look at this. Alright, so, the first move, and I'm not going to tell you the result quite yet. Okay, maybe I will. Believe it or not, I know I juked you there, right? Believe it or not, it is a draw. White can force a draw here with some accurate moves. And they're not so hard to find. This isn't a super difficult puzzle that makes you want to, quit chess for forever and crawl into the fetal position and cry in a corner. This is, it's a fairly, it's a pretty good puzzle. It's more of a composition, if anything. Anyway, the first move is also the obvious move, which is
check.
Bishop d7 check. Now this move is extremely important, because if white plays any other move, it doesn't matter, any other king move, okay, well maybe if the king goes up, the c-pawn can move, alright? That's simple enough. And if the bishop moves anywhere, let's say here, then the king can just go to b5, and now black is winning. At the very least, it's become a little more complicated. Yeah, black is winning, c6, etc. Anyway, let's go back. So, as mentioned, bishop d7 is the move that's needed. Obviously, black does not have a lot of options here, and needs to go king a3. And now, okay, wait, hold on. This pawn is still trying to promote, and there's not a whole lot of ways to stop it, so white's reply is basically forced with bishop c6. Okay, simple enough. Now notice, if you've studied your endgames, which I hope you have, because that's a very important part of, being a good chess player, is knowing your endgames, which is something maybe I've been have a lack of study on, but, I'm working on it. But if you have, you know about opposition. Now opposition is what we see right here. The white king has the opposition on the black king here. So, the king is going to try to get out. It's going to go king a2. Perhaps trying to get to b1 in freedom, At the very least, trying to free the a-pawn to move. Even though it's not possible at the moment. But keep in mind, it's very easy to overload the bishop. Because, the bishop has to watch this promoting square. Anyway, king goes to a2, but the king just goes back. Now, once again, getting the opposition, making sure the king cannot move. And yeah, okay. Black pushes a pawn. Now, you might think, wait, hold on, can white take this pawn? And the answer is no, for pretty clear reasons. You take, black will get a queen. So don't forget, the bishop has to guard this square. But okay, so be it. You know, good for black. He managed to push a pawn successfully, you know. That's an accomplishment. But still, white just makes a nothing move. What do I mean by nothing move? A move that does not change the position dramatically, yet it basically passes, saying, okay, I haven't changed anything, but I've made a move. Alright. So, the king goes up. Now, it would be a huge mistake to play something allowing the king to get out. Once again, freeing the a-pawn, you know, and then getting these pawns going, etc., etc. But white just retains the opposition again. Alright. So, king goes back, once again trying. And the king gets the opposition again. It is amazing. None of these pawns can move because the bishop will hold it. I mean, not hold it, the bishop will just take it. And these pawns, the doubled a-pawns, can never move because the king is in the way. And the king can never move off the a-file because the white king has opposition. So, what does this mean? It means it's a draw. We can play it out a little more. King a1, king c1. And this is actually where the puzzle ends. But if you want to play it out a little, we can. Let's say the pawn pushes. Okay. White makes a nothing move. Let's say black pushes this pawn again. Alright, so be it. I'll make a nothing move. And let's say the pawn pushes once again. Notice, once again, we cannot take this pawn. Because of this, we have to cover that square. But okay. So, alright. Let's say, just make a nothing move once again. Bishop b7. As long as white stays on this diagonal, all these pawns are immune. Let's say the king tries to escape again. You stop it again with king c2. King goes back, we go back. And let's say this pawn on a3 just decides to push to a2. We make a nothing move. And this pawn moves. Notice that if all these pawns were gone, it would be stalemate. So, in other words, these are the only pawns that can move on the board. So let's say white makes a nothing move. You know, and you could take your pick of which pawns you want to give away first. You know, they're all going to die. One by one. You know, let's say you promote first. Okay, we'll push this pawn. Doesn't really matter, any order you want. And eventually, after taking the last pawn, it is stalemate. The king cannot move, and neither can the pawns. So game drawn in the end. Can you believe that? Pretty cool. I'd like to thank a friend out there who submitted this puzzle. It's pretty cool. It's a nice, I'm not usually a big fan of drawing puzzles, but, you know, this one was pretty cool. I liked it. It was pretty neat and worthy of a video, I thought. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll be back later with new stuff, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you around, guys. Peace and thanks.